Right now I'm going to be removing the gear stacks just to count something, because I was rechecking my notes. It seemed as if this nut is still too high, so I'm thinking I may have mixed something up with one of these gears or whatever, so this should be a little lower. So I'm going to take this out, confirm I didn't mix up any of these gears with something else, with either the Prelude or the CRV. Actually, the CRV is still together, so it would have to be the Prelude. So just to make sure I didn't mix anything else. Should be, but yeah, a lot of gears, a lot of mess. But it's like 30 degrees outside, so it's cold. So I just come in, work, and leave, because I ain't got time to clean up. It's freezing right now. But we got a new package. Ta-da! So things are coming together. I was able to pick this up for a very good price. So let's take a look at it to make sure everything is working. I was able to pick this bad boy up. Brand new. Only took out for pictures. All information. Let me make some room. So here it is. That's the Trac LSD, and this is the OEM one that when they did it, we overboarded a little bit too much. But like I said, this was just a test pass, just to make sure everything would work. So we didn't really care too much about the measurement. But on this one, we will definitely make sure that everything is right, because we ain't trying to mess this bad boy up. This is way too much money to screw up like this. But it's the same side. This is the OEM H22, and this is the aftermarket version. So I am very excited to redo this. Basically, we have to bore the measurement down to maybe about halfway, a quarter. I have to do the measurements to find out, and then get some new bolts, short ones with shorter heads. And should be able to bolt up to. This is the transfer gear for the all-wheel drive. This is the transfer gear for the all-wheel drive. This is the spacer that we made. I have a few more of these made up, and that is the ring gear. That's a 4.2. I'm actually getting a 4.0 ring gear because I have two of these transmission, so I'm gonna build two of them. One's gonna be 4.2 and one's gonna be 4.0. Currently, this is the spacer we have on. I put it on the Trac, and look at that, like a great fit. It's right up against the body, not a lot of play, maybe like about a tenth of an inch, so, move in and out. So just like a small spacer to go around it, or make the spacer with tighter tolerance, and that should fix that problem. And as usual, I'm king of changing plans, more parts. Okay, so you can see the box. Gerex. Woo. So this is the Gerex. This is the new final drive I will be using. Right now, I think I have this one is a 4.26 final drive. This one's a 4.0, but it is stronger, allegedly. But it's a different ratio. This is a 4.0, which is what I originally wanted, but I couldn't find one, so I went with a 426. And here she is. So I'm gonna compare it to the OEM one in a second. That's a comparison. You can see that the Gerex is a lot beefier, so I should not be destroying any final drives, hopefully. So that's one big improvement right there. Seems to be the same size, same diameter. I'm gonna fit it on the diff just to make sure everything's good, because this one actually look a little bit wider compared to the first one. Now that might be a problem, because I just had some custom spacers made, and I'm hoping it doesn't throw anything off. Cause this look, it sits a lot deeper. Yeah, we gonna find out. Here is the machine countershaft. So everything's a lot stronger than the OEM, hopefully. Well, at least that's what's advertised. So currently I have two transmissions. I have this all-wheel drive one that's in here on the bench, and I have another one that's actually inside the car. So what my plan is to see if I can find me a OEM diff LSD, do a little machine work, build one transmission like that using all the OEM parts with this gear, this countershaft, and to build the second transmission with all the upgraded stuff with this, the trac LSD. So at least I can at least put this back together, have a spare LSD even if it's OEM, and I can have the actual good transmission. Maybe if I want to upgrade the gears or something like that, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But the whole idea is to at least to get the idea worked out, put it in the car, make sure it runs and drives the way it should, and then if I want to swap the transmission over, then I could do this and have, or at least have a backup if anything does go wrong. So next, these are the spacers I was talking about. These are sent to send cut send. The file was designed, and hopefully these should fit correctly. We are back again. We got more parts. When I was doing this, something seemed wrong with fourth gear. Like, it just didn't seem like it was meshing well. Like, maybe one of the gears were off. The gear ratio was correct. So I spoke to my friend to find out what's going on. It seems he didn't have a complete stack. He just put all the parts in a box and gave it to me. So now I have to go through this whole entire box, count some more gears, and start putting everything together, because he had a few transmission laying around, to see if I could find the right gear that will offset this. Because fourth gear for some reason seems to just, it doesn't spin freely. So something is off for fourth. Whenever, like right now it's engaged, so it doesn't want to spin. So the gear is off even though the ratio is correct, but that's what I came to realize. So now I'm gonna start digging, clean everything up, and start putting everything back together for the actual transmission. As you saw last time, we had the LSD in, so before I start working on this, I want to make sure everything here is correct before I have the machine work done to this, because I don't want to mess this one up. For me, it's big money. I don't want to mess that up. So these are the spacers that were made. This one's out of aluminum, this one's out of steel. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna run, so I got to do some more research, but it wasn't too bad. So we sent them the file, I was able to cut it, and now the holes and everything should be symmetrical. So that's the reason why I went with this version over the one that I was originally made. So it's an ARP stretch gauge for the rod bolts that will be used to build my engine. So we put the whole thing together. There are spacers inside, you can probably see it. Centering rings are on, everything's tight. I'm gonna put it in the diff to make sure everything clears. Case is on, the diff is inside, all the gears are in place. So the only issue I'm having is the bearing, the main bearing. So I took it out, I was able to get the case to close. I just have to double check to see if the CRV one and the H22 ones are different, because it's kind of snug on the case, but without it everything fits. I had it on before with the bearing, but I had to tap it down with a mallet, but right now this went in without no issues. So I have to just check the bearings to make sure the bearings are now the right ones. This is my CRV ones, they're the same size as the Accords and the H22, so that's not a problem. It's just this case bearing I got to double check, because one of them broke and I just used another one that I had, and I'm hoping the one that I'm using right now is the CRV, so I have to double check the part number.
I live inside my own world of make-believe.